Episode 3. We've managed to get the same beers this time, so that's a start. Cue the music.
Tinky Tonky music.
Tinky Tonky music. So
I
hello,
like it. I like the Tinky Tonky music now.
The Tinky
I've got
Tonky,
used to it.
It's growing on me. It's growing on me. After 2 episodes, we get the hang of it. So we are on episode 3. My name is Elton.
And my name is Matt.
And we are Beer Together. 30 minutes of your life once a week, where we try a different
That you
beer
won't get
and
back.
you won't get back. And then we'll try a different beer, maybe one we've had before, maybe one we haven't. Again, please feel free to link out. We've had a few comments on beers we should try after episodes 1 and 2. We'll get round to them. We'll share some stories of our lives. This isn't judging, it's a safe space. Matt, what are we tasting today?
We are tasting, after our conversation last week about the Thornbridge Brewery, we're tasting their first and possibly best. And not Buxton, obviously. Jaipur. So we're tasting their IPA. It was their first. It's 20 years old.
Shut up.
Cheers. This year is its 20th birthday.
That's nice.
So it was a year before the Brewdog.
I've got fascinating facts about the brewery and Brewdog after our conversation last week, but we'll come to those in a minute. So, if you didn't listen last week, we went to a fantastic brewing course with Brew School that was held over a couple of days in Bakewell. It was a gloriously hot, sunny day, mashing things at nice warm temperatures in a room with no windows and no air conditioning. But aside from that, it was great fun and very educational. And nearby is the Thornbridge Brewery. So we wandered down there. It's not where it originally was from. It started off in a stately home, I believe. 20 years ago, did you say?
Well, Jaipur's 20 years old.
Oh, so brewery started a year before, 2005, in a literal country estate in Derbyshire.
It was.
Thornbridge Hall. And our fascinating fact that ties it even more in with last week was that the little fella, as you called him, Martin Dickey, was part of the founding team from the Thornbridge Brewery. So,
oh, was he? Okay.
There you go. So this is their first one, right? Jaipur.
Yeah, it's their first big one, though. I think there was 1 or 2 before, but this is their first one. They basically took all the lots of American hops, and they threw that, including the kitchen sink, into it. It is very hoppy.
It is. 20 odd years ago, if you had bitter, it was brown, right?
Yeah.
I'm having a pint of bitter. It's brown, it's fairly flat, and it's a standard UK hops, which you can list off far better than I can.
So, the light colour comes from low colour Marisotta malt, English malt. And then there are 6 American hops in it. There's Chinook, Centennial, Artarmon, Simcoe, Columbus, and Cascade.
Right.
Supposedly.
So what sort of flavours will we get from those?
Delivers grapefruit, lemon, and tropical fruit.
Right. They always say
grapefruit, lemon, and tropical fruit.
Yeah. And
I'm not getting
pine.
it. That's the point. Yeah, very probably pine. Certainly lemon, certainly citrus. And there is a big bitterness.
There's a lot of grapefruit.
It's very
in there.
bitter.
Yeah. It is very,
very bitter. The way that I think about this is, you know, when you want to make something hot, so you make a chili, if you make a chili or a curry, and you put in the chili powder, or say you're making a curry and you put a chili and put in Tabasco into it afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
To bring up that. That's what it tastes like to me. It tastes like they put hops in right at the end, and the hops aren't part of it. It's just the bitter. It's a great drink,
right?
But for my taste, it seems unfinished. See
Okay.
what I mean?
I mean, I think that's what the challenge, I guess, would be with food. I get what you mean. I'm getting that bitter aftertaste, which I guess is probably what people have had all the way previously. Some of our bitters in the UK were very bitter, and we'll try some later in the series. But the hops really cut through, so you're going to have some fairly hefty food, a curry or a taco with lime and more citrus in it to balance all that up. In my opinion, I don't think if you go to the burger, you're going to get absolutely lost in the flavour of the hops coming through. So there's 6 hops in this.
Yeah, six, and then none of them are shy and retiring kind of hops.
A bit like you, mate.
Yeah. So, someone described this to me a while back when I was talking to someone about this kind of beer or this beer.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's got the tropical notes without going the full on bongo.
Right. So we had lilt last week, and we're going on bongo this week.
Yeah, but I'm now thinking, it's a beer. It's a great beer, and it's well made, and was the first of the craft beers in the UK, really. And it actually led to a huge industry now. But
well, without
for
Thornbridge,
me,
Martin Dickey trained with Thornbridge, right? We said it already, and we said last week that Martin Dickey and James formed Brewdog way back. So technically, without Jaipur and without Thornbridge, there wouldn't be a Brewdog. So we'd have had one less episode to talk about for sure.
Exactly. But that's for my taste. There is something that's unfinished about it. It's not to say that it's not a good beer. It is. For me, would I drink more than one of these? Probably not. I will tonight today because we've tasted them. But also the ABV on them is what 5.9%. They're not exactly kind of again shy and retiring. Session beers. By 6 of these, you'll be unconscious.
Really funny story about this because it sort of came out and it was very different. It was using American hops in a British way to form an India Pale Ale, and people would have them thinking, oh, it's the same strength as, I don't know, a Bass Bitter or whatever at 4%, and at the end of it they'd wake up with hangovers, so they became Jaipurli.
Yeah, I've heard something similar. Yeah.
But there's a load of history in it. It's a very stylish tin. If you've not seen it, it's bright orange. You can't miss it on the shelves. Sold in several of the major supermarket chains. What's the difference between an India Pale Ale and an English Pale Ale? We had a Nipa last week.
So the Indian Pale Ales, and I think I suppose the biggest, the most famous one, the UK one, is Green King.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Green King at a later date when I'm locked.
When we've got enough followers that we're not going to worry about scaring people off.
When we know that there are no children present. But their IPA, the IPA was originally, supposedly, it was stronger because it needed to be transported to India. Over time, it also kind of within barrels, it evaporated slightly, so was slightly stronger when it went that end temperature, and so that's what the IPA is. Whereas Nipa, softer, different grains are used to give that hazy. This isn't hazy; it's clear as a bell.
No, not at all. We had Hazy Jane, which is our current Choose Your Fighter top dog. We'll be talking about that later on in the episode. But that was. I mean, the includes in the name, right? Hazy Jane. This is crystal clear. I mean, you'd sit there and pint of lager next to this, and probably not actually know too much difference in terms of colour.
There is a little bit of the yellow, little bit of green in it. I'm looking at it through now, but then I am looking at a wall that's predominantly blue-green. But there's a green in it.
Oh, look, I'm looking at a grey wall. I've got bits of grey in it.
All right, so there's grey in it. No. But there's predominantly there's a slight green tinge to it. I like it. It's growing on me. It's one of them, but again, 5.9%. Anything grows on
I was
me
going to
after
say it's a
about 5
dangerous one to grow on you at
doesn't matter what I drink.
5.9%, right? I'm trying to look at the can to see if it's got an IBU. Not that we know what that means, but we're going to keep quoting it because it makes us sound knowledgeable about stuff, but doesn't say anything about it.
What IBU?
So we went to this brilliant learning how to brew, homebrew session where we thought we'd solve the world. We knew everything. We knew about testing our water. We knew about mashing correctly. We knew about liquor. We knew about everything. Brilliant course from the brew school. They had a couple of independents come up and shared their beers as well. That set us thinking, well, if they can do it in their shed, we can do it too. We couldn't. Epically couldn't.
We were awful.
And then, as we said last week, we wandered over to the tap room, which is where the new Thornbridge Brewery is in Bakewell, a big industrial proper brewing facility. But their tap room there with all the different beers, Vermont, all the rest of it they had in there at the time it was just fantastic. But I remember then, and we made the joke last week actually that we sat there and we forgot it was next Thursday and we were somewhere in Bulgaria or whatever. You can see why at 5.9% because it doesn't taste like one of those 5.9%.
No, I think I went on to their one of their sister beers, which is the Green Mountain, which I prefer because it's slightly lower in ABV.
Yeah. But it broke the, well, as we say, it gave an opportunity for BrewDog to appear, and it gave loads of other breweries in the UK a chance to go, you know what, we could do something different. Don't have to be the mainstream Burton on Trent. We can do something bigger and better and bolder.
Yeah, it was the first one I ever tasted that had that kind of grapefruity, and for a long time I was a little bit ambivalent to that movement. Yeah. Thinking of bitter Hampel, coming from a background of Hampel bitters, cask ales, looking after your cellar and all of that.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a kind of wrench, but when I've started tasting these, and they've become, there's a lot more of them going out there, but.
Well, they're easy to look after, right? It's very hard for you to get a decent craft ale, and the smell of a sump pump in a cellar is something of a badly maintained cellar is something I'll never forget. When there's been a few pubs we took over and came back and oh my goodness, first thing I'm going to do is clean out the sump because that smell is infecting all the beers. People are telling you the beer's off, thinking no, it's not. It's just the atmosphere in the cellar, and they've not tapped it properly in the first place. But yeah, plenty of cellar stories. I'm not entirely sure most of them are legal.
No, I'm sure.
And you had more experience than I in some of your pubs.
Yeah, I was predominantly Hampel or a mix of keg and cask, but yeah, a lot of kind of stuff that went on. I remember several beers being having them on, and if you walk past the stillage with big shoes on, they'd go off, and they were really annoying because you'd end up with two thirds of a cask go. And also, I had I think my favourite small story of that is lunchtime. I was working in a pub that sold Adnams, and one of the beers went off, and I sent one of my barmen down to change the barrel. And we had this was just pre-lunchtime, about 5 to 12, and we had a group of lads that came in, or blokes come in, and they'd have 3 pints, and then they'd go home, or they go back to work.
Go back to work. They say they're going home, but we know they're going back to work, right?
This afternoon, honestly, they were hammered, and I'm like, what the? They've just come in, 3 pints, first one really quick, second one reasonably quick, third one, they were slowing down a bit. They're only in for an hour and having 3 pints in an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the end of it, they were like, one of them was slurring. I'm like, are you okay to go back to work? Oh, yeah, I'll be all right. Anyway, I've gone back down at the cellar later on in the afternoon, and the bloke had, instead of the Adnams bitter, he put on broadside. So the ABV was so much higher. And these blokes, 3 pints of that in less than an hour, hoping to get back to work and maybe grab a cheese sandwich on the way. And they were battered.
Yeah.
It made me laugh anyway. I don't think they were very happy with us, but
they're all
cost me a fortune.
We were relatively young. We're not relatively young now, but when we first got into pubs and craft ales, you'd have all these people trying to tell you ways of I can get my beer to be on tap quicker than everybody else. I pour tonic water into it because it helps settle the findings. No, it doesn't. Doesn't do anything of the sort.
Nope. Time,
just madness. Some of the things.
And
time and patience.
Loads of stories.
Maybe that's where we went wrong with our homebrew. Time and patience.
No, what went wrong with our homebrew is while it was boiling, we were drinking.
We were researching.
Then our perception of time was slightly skewed.
You may well.
How long's it been? Oh, it must be 25 minutes. No, it hasn't. How long? Yeah. How long is that? Is it boiling yet? Oh, well, it's rolling.
Well, yeah. We talked about the Gal and Gal one last week, but that one we went to the pub and left it for an hour and a half and came back, and it was the best one we did.
Yeah. I think I sent you a photo the other day of one of our first.
You absolutely did. Yeah.
Kettles.
Yeah. But back to Jaipur.
2 kettles. Yeah. I'll have my other can now.
Yeah, open your second can. Hang on. Let's enjoy the noise. So we will get eventually Jaipurli on this one because, I'm enjoying the joke. It is 5.9%, and at some point I'll stand up and just fall straight backwards over my chair through the door to see my wife look at me disparagingly. But there we go. So more about Thornbridge, I guess. It's from the estate originally. It was a property developer who kind of thought, well, how do I get more money out of maintaining this pile? It's won over 100 worldwide awards based on the American sort of stuff that was coming through there. They call it a 6-dimensional hop experience, by the way.
Yeah, all the ones that should be in there and one they've left out that they chucked in at the end.
And that's probably the oil you get in the taste of it, to be fair. I mean, I've not seen it brewed, but we can find out more, I'm sure.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking the beer. It is a good beer. There is something that I kind of... But now I've drunk I'm drinking my second one. Different matter.
Yeah, very happy now.
I've got used to that. I've got used to that really, really bitter, bitter taste, which is nice.
And I remember you telling me when we were in the Thornbridge tap room that actually what's amusing about this, it's an American style IPA brewed in an English stately home by an Italian.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was an Italian involved, I believe.
So Stefano Cosi, is that the name you told me? Stefano Cosi was an Italian brewer. And when we were at the tap room, there were a few posters and things up telling us about him. He was the head brewer. So Brewdog, technically, and your wife will be very pleased, and so will her family. Brewdog technically was formed off Italian beer.
They listen to this, so there's no.
I know. I see the stats.
I'm not giving them an opportunity to claim beer now.
I think they can claim that anyway, can't they?
No. Well, let's try not.
Well, we'll have beer. They can have wine. That sounds fair to me.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So if you're listening, you know who you are. You're not having the beer; it's ours. She'll be listening, and she'll be angry as well. I know she will.
Yes, Auntie Carmen.
She's a terrible, angry woman.
But that's fine. Don't worry. We'll edit that bit out. I just got lost in where I was going. You don't have to. No, okay. So they started off in the stately home, Thornbridge, and then got bigger and bigger and bigger, and moved to where we went to Bakewell, and started producing loads more. They've never really been massively commercial, as far as I'm sort of. I knew a bit about them, but until we went to the tap room, they're not one of those sort of. You don't see them in pubs everywhere, for example.
No, and that's the refreshing part about it. I think there are some in the local area.
Oh, we went to the one on the corner where we end up sitting next to the people who park their tractors in the car park.
Yeah.
Genuinely, Matt and I sat on these tables outside. It was beautiful weather, chatting to a couple of teachers and some other people who are fairly local, talking about it. And these 3 tractors just rolled up, turned around the corner, and parked in the car park. Because we've been saying they've got really generous parking bays in this car park. Yeah, it's because your John Deere's got a park in it. But they had Jaipur on tap. But outside of immediate vicinity of Derbyshire, I don't think I've seen it on tap anywhere.
Not on draft, no. I know, they've done deals with actually not many of the supermarkets either. or the supermarkets haven't taken up their offer of selling it. But it's they've got quite a good different types of beer. So I've got the list here. They do Jaipur, Lord Marples. They've got Kipling, AMPM, Halcyon, and Wild Swan. They also do as I said, the
Green Mountain, or what it was called.
Yeah.
Two cans as memory goes. That's a problem.
Where I've got the socks, I bought their socks.
Ah, you did. Are you wearing them? That would help you remember the name.
No, I'm not wearing them, and I won't remember today. But I like the idea of AMPM because it's an all-day IPA.
Yeah, but a lot of their sort of names, like Jaipur, that he got married in Jaipur, right? The Jim Harrison, who's the property guy who owned Thornbridge Hall, which is why they've got a lot of Indian themed pieces coming through. And if you actually look at the can, it's very, very Indian's the wrong word, right? But you know what I mean. It's
the designs you would see on a sari, or you would see on a or actually what you would see on a waistcoat, one of the the silk waistcoats.
Yes, absolutely.
And actually, I believe and get me wrong, the bodice of my wife's wedding dress had that, because that's where she came. That she got the silk from. Actually, Upton Park. She got the silk from.
Nowhere near India, then. What, the football?
No, but Upton Park was or is part of the Indian community in London. It's
West Ham at half time in the old ground in Upton Park. They sold bodices for weddings. They didn't do anything for money, West Ham.
But yeah, it was. Well, now down the road, I was stuck in a sauna today with five of their supporters. I was totally appalled. Anyway,
I think we should end this conversation, as it could go global. And you saying that you're stuck in a sauna? No, I'm not cutting it out. That's staying in. You and five West Ham fans in a sauna is also a great name for a podcast.
God, cut it out, please. Otherwise, I won't. I'll delete it anyway. Yeah,
so this beer,
it has.
I like this beer it's growing on me. It's growing on you. Well, can too. Everything's growing on you because it's 5.9%.
Yeah, that is.
I do dread the moment when someone suggests we go and have one of those. I was looking at a range of beers to try later in the series, and they were 8.9%. I'm thinking, if I have a whole can of that halfway through this podcast, by the end, it's just me being going, my liver tattoo, Matt.
You get all dribbly. It's no good.
I get all dribbly, which isn't cool. So, Choose Your Fighter, we started last week being spontaneous and creating podcasts as we go, where we're going to talk about...
Although, if you remember, I made the mistake. It's actually called Pick Your Fighter, and it wasn't from the brewery I said it was. But absolutely. Put the correction in afterwards.
We did the correction, but we're still going to call the segment Choose Your Fighter.
Choose Your Fighter.
Choose Your Fighter, because Pick Your Fighter is a beer, and Choose Your Fighter, at this current point in time that we're aware of, isn't. It's now ours, and we've just trademarked it. So, Choose Your Fighter, we decided that that Hazy Jane won in a not quite
the competition
between
Thingy and Hazy Jane wasn't the greatest, was it?
A bit like the Tyson Fury fight at the weekend, to be fair. So, if we're going Hazy Jane versus Jaipur, there's your battle. Which one are you choosing?
It's a big... The way it stands now, sitting here after a can and 3 quarters, it will be the Jaipur, because it's actually a much more complex, much more interesting drink. Problem is, with Hazy Jane, it's 5% Hazy Jane, so it isn't a tiny beer.
No,
but I can probably drink a lot more than
last week, right? When we were talking about Two Tribes, we said that the Hazy Jane was stronger. I mean, for me, this is like and you are more into your beers than I am, which is why you are the expert from Beer Tasting 123. Didn't mention it last week, nor did you, so I'm sticking it in this time. Beer Tasting 123 on Instagram and TikTok. Hazy Jane. This is going to sound really weird. Jaipur tastes like I'm doing some homework on beer. I wouldn't want to try another one, whereas Hazy Jane tastes like I'm having a bit of a party. It's a bit easier, a bit lighter. I'd walk around and go, yeah, I'm having Hazy Jane. Jaipur tastes like I've got to be a bit more serious.
So we've got a mismatch in our choices.
We have this time. So, which one? In the pub, we sat there on that corner house, 3 tractors parked in the car park. They've got Hazy Jane and Jaipur on draft. That's it. They didn't have loads of other beers, but that's all that's currently left on tap. You're going to order a second pint. Which one are you ordering?
Hate to say it, but it'll be Hazy Jane.
There you go. Hazy Jane Cheesy Fighter stays on for another round next week. We shall see what it's up against when we do next week's podcast. But I think it's a great beer, and it really started the change in the UK from the sort of brown, as we said earlier, Bass, the Fuller's, London Pride, which are all great beers, but they're very different end of the spectrum to the IPAs that we've started this series with. Maybe next series will be all about traditional English ales rather than sours. We're not doing a series on sours, by the way. That's never happening.
We're not. We're really not doing a series on sours. I can't stomach it. That would be terrible stuff, that is. But no, everyone, all of them have their place. They're just not in anywhere near me.
You talk about sours or traditional English ales there?
Sours.
Very,
no,
very
traditional
clear.
English ales is where I grew up. This is my...
Yeah.
That's what I was drinking at, what age was I started drinking? 11, 12?
Yeah.
So that's what I was drinking. It was not the good stuff. I mean, cans of John Smith's or whatever it may be. But then as I got older, then, things like... What were there? I suppose London Pride was still there.
Yeah. Well,
Bass,
London Pride, Doom Bar.
Nothing. You can't get a pint of draft Bass was a thing of beauty. I used to enjoy that. But I think it's coming back somehow.
It's coming back. We had it in the local around the corner recently, and Doom Bar is obviously there at the moment. Timmy Taylor Landlord is back again. I see them starting to.
I've never liked that. Never liked
evolution. Well, we'll do some real ale taste. Maybe we're going to do it in a pub. That'd be cool. For one episode, it'd be carnage of an episode. We mentioned this about going to Brewdog in Waterloo, but it would be carnage of an episode where it's just you and me sat there with 8 handfuls going, oh, this is great. Back to this one being 5.9%.
Hi, that's the way forward.
And if anyone does want any of our homebrew kit that we bought, having thought we'd solved all the woes in the world, having been to Brew School's class in Bakewell, we bought a fantastic Grainfather kit. All whistles and bells, it had everything. We even got a beer fridge to dispense the beer from with proper taps on the front like it was a real pub. If anyone wants any of that, you can find it on eBay.
Yeah, please take it off our hands. We shouldn't be allowed. We shouldn't have been allowed to get anywhere near it.
What we should have done is come back and told people who weren't going to drink while they're doing it how to do it.
Yeah, that's maybe. Weren't we in Bakewell when we bought it? We bought it online.
Yes, we were sat
outside
on that corner
a pub
with 3 tractors parked around the corner. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I blame the tractors. We also had the most bizarre curry experience in Bakewell as well, if you remember. Where you walked in, the post office was one part of it, and the other half was a curry house by the river with the mad ducks. Mad ducks? They were really weird ducks.
Yeah, ducks. Not really. No, I don't really have an opinion on ducks.
Do they come in a box or a bag? Just checking.
What, ducks? Floating down the river, I hope.
Well, there you go. So today's beer has been Jaipur. It hasn't won. Choose your fighter. Hazy Jane stays on for yet another week. His name is Matt.
And his is Elton.
And we are Beer Together. We hope to see you soon. Take care.